Now at 9, navigating change. EMS services take the helm as Fort Scott's emergency room prepares to close its doors. Plus, we'll check out some Thanksgiving Day turkey trots in Joplin and Pittsburgh, and how community support made all the difference in providing meals to Carthage residents in need.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Fort Scott's emergency room closes in less than a month on December 20th, leaving Bourbon County residents wondering what happens next. Bourbon County EMS Director Terry Holsey says she's preparing for the change now. The county's EMS team is now at full staff and is currently posting for EMTs and paramedics if the need arises. Holsey says the time to get her team to you won't change, but it will take longer to get to neighboring hospitals. The most viable ER options: Pittsburgh, Girard, Iola, and Nevada. Holsey admits while her crews spend more time on the road, they may have to rely on others.
We have first responders throughout the county, some of them being EMT certified, and we have a good working reputation with all of them. So we're very fortunate in that aspect.
Now, Bourbon County is not the only EMS team that could see changes after the ER in Fort Scott closes. Coming up later in the show, we learn about staffing concerns that could lead to alternative transfer methods in Crawford County. Well, it wouldn't be Turkey Day without a turkey trot. More than 1,300 runners participated in Joplin's 12th annual Turkey Trot 5K and 1-mile walk this morning. The course began and finished in front of City Hall on Main Street.
I mean, it's just a great way to bring the community together, and I just love seeing all these people out here exercising. It's just a great event. Everyone's super friendly here. And yeah, I mean, I guess you run so you can get healthy and stay healthy and then kind of burn those calories a little bit.
5K participants received an event shirt, a finisher medal, and Krispy Kreme donuts. The Turkey Trot race returned to Pittsburgh this year. More than 400 runners signed up for the 5K event.
People love running 5Ks on Thanksgiving. We just didn't have one here, and we just been marketing this for the last 6 months. And then it took off about 2 months ago, and people went. Our goal was 200 people to sign up. Over 400 now, which is crazy.
I like the opportunity. I feel like it's kind of good for me because I run cross country. So just seeing if I can do well in it.
Just some extra cardio, right?
Yes, sir.
The 5K race both started and finished in front of Memorial Auditorium. Well, the Carthage Crisis Center offered more than 300 Thanksgiving meals to families in the area. And over 50 volunteers spent the last 2 days working on the final touches to deliver food to families in the eastern Jasper County area. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has their story.
We wouldn't have nothing to eat. We would be just without everything.
Just like Jim and Rex, many Americans wouldn't have something to eat this Thanksgiving if it wasn't for one thing: their community support. There are only 2 of the more than 300 people who will have the chance to celebrate the holiday with a complete meal in the eastern Jasper County area, thanks to Carthage Crisis Center.
Feeling very, very grateful about everything. I mean, since it's a holiday.
Because we have been so blessed, we really want to share with others, and what a better way than a Thanksgiving meal with all the trimmings.
Most meals are delivered directly to the person. While giving back to the community, the volunteers also feel gratitude.
Personally delivered some as well as the other volunteers, and the expressions of thanks from the people who receive them is overwhelming.
A lot of people are alone and really appreciate having a meal, and so it's a blessing for them, and it's a blessing for everybody who's volunteering.
In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
As you could see, ham, turkey, sweet and mashed potatoes were just some of the items people could enjoy. Organizers say the meals were funded with the help of community support. The Salvation Army of Jasper and Newton County served up hundreds of turkey dinners today. Volunteers helped serve their annual community meal in Joplin from noon to 1, and many others took advantage of a holiday meal delivered right to their doorstep.
Anyone who doesn't have a place to go or a family, friends to share Thanksgiving with, we welcome them for a wonderful meal. Turkey, trimmings, all the sides. We've already delivered out 260 meals to those who are homebound, disabled, senior citizens, and we've had many delivery drivers already taking out those 260 meals, and now we're welcoming in our guests.
If you want to help make sure everyone has food this holiday season, consider donating to our Feed the Four States campaign on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, the funds you donate go directly to food pantries right here in the four-state area. Coming up, combating loneliness.
It can also be stressful, especially if you're one of the half of all American adults who suffer from loneliness. I'm Garrett Tenney in Chicago with that story coming up.
More and more Americans are reporting an increase in loneliness and isolation. And for those who are suffering the holidays, it can be difficult. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has more on how to ease loneliness during this celebratory season.
The holidays are typically a time for gathering with family and friends, but for many, it can also be one of the most stressful times of the year.
Holidays are tough. There's a lot of pressure I think people find, and especially if you're single, even later in life, it's even tougher, where a lot of people are married or coupled off, and that loneliness factor really sets in.
A feeling that is often amplified during the holiday season. Those who suffer from loneliness may be far from their loved ones, or they experience emotional distance, feeling alone at crowded holiday parties and even family celebrations, often opting to stay home. Loneliness impacts almost half of all American adults, prompting the Surgeon General to declare it a public health epidemic earlier this year, saying social disconnectivity is as dangerous for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes per day.
Loneliness and isolation are associated with a greater risk of heart disease, dementia, stroke, depression, anxiety, and premature death.
We are meant to be connected.
Therapist and relationship expert Kimmy Seltzer says there are ways to ease into those anxiety-inducing social situations.
The first thing I always tell people to do is have a date prep plan or a social plan. And what I mean by that is do things that can relax you in the body, put you in a more like playful and fun state. Doing things like having an outfit that makes you feel amazing. Then I always tell people start small, because I think what's overwhelming is thinking about going to the social event or a date where they have to make small talk.
The absence of a romantic partner can also help people feel isolated during the holidays, when people go to parties, exchange gifts, and enjoy time together.
It's actually the best time to get out and meet people. There's so much buzz in the air. There's a lot of festivities, activities that you can get involved in.
Experts say if you're feeling isolated, it's important to practice self-care, talk about your feelings with others, and understand you're not alone. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Well, new studies found long-term use of ADHD medications can raise the risk of cardiovascular disease. Researchers in Sweden followed the medical records of thousands of individuals with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder for a number of years. They found overall heart disease risk was 23% higher for people who used ADHD medication for more than 5 years compared to those who did not. Even dogs are feeling under the weather as we head into winter. Genetic researchers say they discovered a new kind of bacterium that could be infecting dogs in at least a dozen states. Dog owners have reported their furry friends developing an illness similar to kennel cough, but research teams believe the mystery respiratory illness has a different cause, and they say the infection does not respond to normal medical treatments. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, it's a full day of turkey and football. We'll have highlights from today's Thanksgiving NFL games.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thanksgiving for us today. Temperatures were fantastic across the region. Most of us went into 60s for afternoon highs, which is great. That's a good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. But a cold front did roll through this afternoon, so that means much cooler temperatures are going to be working in as we go through the next couple days. But if you look at our last 36 hours, we were upper 40s yesterday. We did drop back near freezing, but look at this afternoon, lower 60s across the region. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the 60s for several days. Outside right now, 42 in Nevada, 43 in Miami, Chanute still at 47. You can see our winds are out of the northeast, so as that cooler air continues to work in, our temperatures are going to drop back near freezing later on tonight. It's also a little bit breezy. We have those northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10, but these are actually going to increase as we go through the night. So we're going to have a little bit of a wind chill factor, kind of feeling like 23 to 25 by morning. Those northeasterly winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Stays breezy all day long for us tomorrow, and then the winds start to calm down a bit as we head into Saturday. Clouds increasing. Right now we have clear skies, but clouds increasing. So by morning, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies. You can see one little wave with rain down towards southern Arkansas and Louisiana. That's going to stay south of us, but what we are tracking is this next system. Look at the snow, Nebraska, northern parts of Colorado out through Wyoming. This system is an upper level wave. You can see the kink right about Salt Lake City. This is going to push through on Saturday night, so 2 nights away, giving us rain and snow chances. All right, let's walk through your Black Friday, starting at about 32, mostly cloudy skies, kind of a stiff northeasterly wind. We only warm to about 40 to 41 by noon. We do get some sunshine in here late in the afternoon, but our high temps only right about 45 degrees. Tomorrow night, we drop back again into the upper 20s, and then on Saturday, we warm up into lower 50s. But here's 4 p.m. Look at the snow increasing. Wichita, Yates Center, up toward Kansas City. Most of us are going to have a cold rain. Here's 8:30 p.m. Cold rain, temperatures into lower 40s, but our northwestern counties getting moderate snow. Here's midnight, Saturday night, most of us rain, and then eventually switching over to a rain-snow mix by the time we head into Sunday morning. Not a huge deal, but a lot of people are going to be traveling. I really think from Joplin, Miami, north, including Pittsburgh, Nevada, a dusting mainly on the grassy surfaces. But once you get out toward Yates Center, 1 to 3 inches of snow, Wichita 3 to 6, all the way up toward Emporia and also Kansas City. 34 in the morning, 42 by noon, high temp of 45 degrees for us tomorrow. 52 on Saturday, only 41 on Sunday. Look at those overnight lows into lower 20s. So we're going to cool down quite a bit early next week, and we'll have to watch this system heading in this weekend. Tanya?
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, some record-breaking shopping numbers.
With holiday shopping ramping up, analysts project a record number of consumers will resort to buy now, pay later programs. I'm Mather Rivera in Washington with the latest on the shopping trends and what they mean for young people coming up.
Holiday spending is expected to reach a record high this year, but so are layaway services offering shoppers a way to buy now and pay later. Fox's Madeline Rivera has the latest on the growing shopping trend and a warning for young people.
With holiday shopping deals seemingly on every corner, it can be tempting to get swept up in the moment.
There's lots of really great deals out there right now. Go shopping.
But even those deals can quickly add up, especially when shopping on a budget.
This year has been really hard. I'm a single mom of 5, and I've been really stressed out about Christmas.
And with inflation still stubbornly high, a new report projects a record number of shoppers will resort to buy now, pay later services this holiday season, with 1 in 5 shoppers expected to use layaway.
It's really an interest-free way for consumers to spend this season and not have to, feel the immediate brunt of the budgets being hit.
But those layaway programs can have a downside, with many involving fees and often not allowing for cancellations. Still, analysts say the buy now, pay later services are particularly popular among young shoppers who are also not accustomed to looking at the fine print.
So the biggest takeaway is to have a conversation with the younger people in your life.
When buying items on layaway, the Better Business Bureau recommends getting everything in writing and following a checklist of things to ask, including when are the payments due, what happens if a payment is missed, and is a refund offered if that item is no longer wanted. The same shopping forecast projects mobile shopping will surpass desktop for the first time as buy now, pay later becomes increasingly mainstream, making it easier for shoppers to hit a button and buy. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Well, Best Buy is among the retailers expecting a drop in holiday shopping revenue this year. Best Buy, Lowe's, and Kohl's all reported sales declines during their most recent quarter this week and are forecasting a holiday sales to drop from a year ago. That would be a turn from holiday sales that spiked by 14% in 2021 and grew by 5% last year. But Moody's Investor Service said in a report that consumers are now losing spending steam. It turns out scammers do not take vacay days during the holidays. The Treasury Department's reminding consumers that cyber scammers will still be hard at work to ruin your Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. The department says the rise of artificial intelligence is helping scammers with malicious phishing attacks. They recommend not rushing to purchase or pay for something so quickly, but only from reputable merchants. Also, watch for unexpected emails or phone calls from financial institutions. Up next, why scientists say cosmic rays recently detected on Earth are so exceptional. Scientists have detected the second most powerful cosmic ray ever observed. Cosmic rays are charged particles that travel through space and rain down on Earth constantly. Scientists say extremely high energy ones are exceptional. The newly discovered particle was detected by a cosmic ray observatory in Utah's West Desert in May of 2021. According to the study authors, the cosmic ray carried the energy of about 244 quintillion electron volts. Wowzers. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Neighboring counties are watching as the emergency room in Fort Scott prepares to close its doors. Coming up, we take a look at Crawford County, where staffing concerns could lead to alternative transfer methods. Plus, a Southwest Missouri plumber gives some tips to make sure your Thanksgiving dinner cleanup doesn't end up clogging your drain.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. December 20th, the day Fort Scott's emergency room officially closes its doors. But that doesn't mean the city and county will go without emergency services. I sat down with 2 different EMS directors who were preparing for the change.
We are posting for paramedics and EMTs also.
Director Terry Holsey says Bourbon County has 7 ambulances in its fleet, with 3 operating full-time, 2 at the county barn,
Fully staffed paramedics on both trucks with 2 EMTs.
And a 3rd truck the city of Fort Scott operates as a backup at the fire station. And while the Bourbon County EMS team is at full staff, Holsey says she's willing to expand if the need arises.
At this point, we're just going to evaluate it as we go to see what the call volume is going to be like.
Holsey says the time it takes to get medical care to those who need it will remain the same.
Response times will still be the same, yes. We'll just have longer transport times.
Without a hometown ER, patients will have to choose a different destination. The closest is Nevada at 20 miles. Girard is about 22 miles away. Iola at least 25 miles. And the most likely option, Ascension Via Christi in Pittsburgh, which is a 32-mile haul.
I've been in it 20 years.
Randy Sandberg runs the Crawford County EMS. He's keeping an eye on what's happening in Fort Scott, too.
It will definitely impact us because a portion of those are going to land in either Girard or at Via Christi. And so if it's significant type care, it's going to have to go somewhere else.
Crawford County has a total of 8 ambulances like this one that cover a total of 620 square miles. Now, the county budgets for 9 paramedics and 9 EMTs, but sometimes that's a staff number that's tough to fill.
Weekends are a challenge. Seems like we're always short on the weekends, and so we'll staff 2 EMTs and have a captain, and then basically I'm on call, so if they get busy, I come back in.
Since COVID, Sandberg says he's struggled to get back to that magic 9 and 9 staffing combination.
Obviously, the hospitals rely on us to get people from point A to point B once it exceeds their level of care or they need specialized treatment. When we're short-staffed and we don't have the personnel to do so, then they're having to use other avenues besides us.
Avenues like air ambulance or other ground transport services from Kansas City. While Sandberg agrees that's not ideal, both he and Holsey say they'll be prepared for what's coming.
We're here and we're going to continue to provide the best quality care that we always have for the community.
Care that starts with the EMS.
Now, Crawford County offers 1 scholarship per year to put an EMT through paramedic school. After graduation, the new paramedic must work for the county for at least 2 years. Well, a house full of people for Thanksgiving, and plumbers warn that you could be headed for trouble if you're not careful with how you clean up after that holiday feast. They say you should never run grease or fatty meat through your garbage disposal. Even if it seems soft or you're running it down the drain with hot water, eventually it'll cool off, harden, and clog. Plumbers say don't be afraid to use your garbage disposal, but make sure you're careful about what you run through it.
If you've got big amounts of food on plates, anything like that, throw it in the trash can. The garbage disposal is usually meant for just little debris, little stuff like that, just to put down. And if you don't get it all off your plate, that'll take care of it most definitely.
Plumbers say slow draining and gurgling sounds when you run the disposal or water backing up into the sink are all signs that you may have a problem on your hands. We all have our favorite Thanksgiving foods, but do you know where your preferences stack up when compared to the rest of the country? Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a look at the results of a new study revealing which holiday food takes the #1 spot.
As Americans get ready to chow down on their Thanksgiving meals,
be thankful, because I'm very thankful.
A new study finds not every part of the holiday feast reigns supreme.
Thanksgiving means really good food.
According to data collected by the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research, turkey is most people's favorite Thanksgiving dish, with 32% of poll participants claiming so. But what about the cut of meat? The study found 43% of people prefer white meat over dark.
Big turkey. I'm having like 16 people over.
And you can't forget about the sides. Researchers say stuffing takes the #2 spot as people's favorite holiday food, with mashed potatoes coming in third. Meanwhile, cranberry sauce takes the cake as people's least favorite dish, especially among younger adults.
Another napkin.
But all these foods can have some effects on your body besides turkey making you sleepy. The garlic used in many foods can leave you with unwanted odors. To not offend those at your table, scientists at The Ohio State University say eating this food after dinner can freshen your breath better than a piece of gum.
Consuming yogurt dramatically decreased garlic breath. And there are several components. There's the fat, the protein, the pH, but a big part of that is the protein. These will all help to deodorize your breath.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Learn something new every day. A bit later, skipping the turkey.
As millions of Americans prepare to gobble down on turkey this Thanksgiving, millions more are going turkeyless. I'm Caroline Shively with more on the growing trend to skip the bird coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thanksgiving for us today. Temperatures were fantastic across the region. Most of us went into 60s for afternoon highs, which is great. That's a good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. But a cold front did roll through this afternoon, so that means much cooler temperatures are going to be working in as we go through the next couple days. But if you look at our last 36 hours, we were upper 40s yesterday. We did drop back near freezing, but Look at this afternoon, lower 60s across the region. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the 60s for several days. Outside right now, 42 in Nevada, 43 in Miami. Chinook still at 47. You can see our winds are out of the northeast, so as that cooler air continues to work in, our temperatures are going to drop back near freezing later on tonight. It's also a little bit breezy. We have those northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10, but these are actually going to increase as we go through the night. So we're going to have a little bit of a wind chill factor, kind of feeling like 23 to 25 by morning. Those northeasterly winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Stays breezy all day long for us tomorrow, and then the winds start to calm down a bit as we head into Saturday. Clouds increasing. Right now we have clear skies, but clouds increasing. So by morning, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies. You can see one little wave with rain down towards southern Arkansas and Louisiana. That's going to stay south of us, but what we are tracking is this next system. Look at the snow. Nebraska, northern parts of Colorado, out through Wyoming. This system is an upper level wave. You can see the kink right about Salt Lake City. This is going to push through on Saturday night, so 2 nights away, giving us rain and snow chances. All right, let's walk through your Black Friday, starting at about 32, mostly cloudy skies, kind of a stiff northeasterly wind. We only warm to about 40 to 41 by noon. We do get some sunshine in here late in the afternoon, but our high temps only right about 45 degrees. Tomorrow night, we drop back again into the upper 20s, and then on Saturday, we warm up into lower 50s. But here's 4 p.m. Look at the snow increasing. Wichita, Yates Center, up toward Kansas City. Most of us are going to have a cold rain. Here's 8:30 p.m. Cold rain, temperatures into lower 40s, but our northwestern counties getting moderate snow. Here's midnight, Saturday night, most of us rain, and then eventually switching over to a rain-snow mix by the time we head into Sunday morning. Not a huge deal, but a lot of people are going to be traveling. I really think from Joplin, Miami, north, including Pittsburgh, Nevada, a dusting mainly on the grassy surfaces. But once you get out toward Yates Center, 1 to 3 inches of snow. Wichita, 3 to 6, all the way up toward Emporia and also Kansas City. 34 in the morning, 42 by noon, high temp of 45 degrees for us tomorrow. 52 on Saturday, only 41 on Sunday. Look at those overnight lows into lower 20s. So we're going to cool down quite a bit early next week, and we'll have to watch this system heading in this weekend. Tanya?
A new study suggests air pollution from coal-burning plants might be deadlier than initially thought. The researchers studied emissions data from 480 coal-burning plants in the U.S. and almost 2 decades worth of Medicare data. They found that 460,000 deaths were attributable to coal-burning plants between 1999 and 2020. The data shows there was an average of 43,000 deaths per year during that time frame due to the exposure to the tiny air pollutants released by burning coal. But by 2020, that number dropped to 1,600 deaths per year. Coming up in sports, plenty of Thanksgiving football taking place today. The Lions host the Packers and the Cowboys face the Commanders. John Dales has highlights from those games and more up next.
Just as much as family and food, football is a big part of Thanksgiving every year. As always, the Lions play a home game on the holiday, hosting the Packers today, looking for their first win on Thanksgiving since 2016. Jordan Love takes the field for his first start in the Packers uniform on Thanksgiving Day. First quarter, no score, opening drive, and Love slings it into Jaden Reed for a 10-yard touchdown. Take a look on the replay. Perfect positioning, threading the needle with that pass. Packers take a 7-0 lead. Under 4 minutes left in the first quarter now. Pack up 7-6. Love passes it 9 yards into the end zone to Tucker Kraft. First, the Lions get on the board with the touchdown. Then here's Love finding Kraft in the flat. That's a touchdown, and the Packers are up 14-6 at that point on the road against the first place Lions. Later in the first quarter, now Packers leading 14-6. Goff looking for a receiver, and Rashawn Gary forces a fumble. Jonathan Owen scoops it up. Lions initially think that's an incomplete pass, but as we look at the replay, Goff's arm not coming forward with control of the ball. After review, the touchdown is confirmed. Packers up 23-6 at halftime. Into the third now. Packers leading 23-14. Love to the end zone to Watson. 16-yard touchdown. 3 touchdowns out of the Packers quarterback. They win 29-22. Over in the NFC East, the Cowboys also at home this afternoon. Dallas plays a division rival as well, the Washington Commanders. Commanders at the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy hugging it out. Second quarter, Cowboys up 7-3. Prescott airs it out deep. Brandon Cooks hauls it in for a 31-yard touchdown. Prescott loves it. Cowboys leading 14-3. 2 minutes to go in the half now. Cowboys leading 14-10. Prescott finds Jalen Tolbert. It's tipped, but Jalen Brooks tracks it down. 24-yard catch. A few plays later, Tony Pollard powers into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 20-10 Cowboys at that point. 23-10 in the fourth when Prescott connects with C.D. Lamb for a 15-yard touchdown. Cowboys dancing their way to a 31-10 lead. Later in the fourth now, same score. Prescott goes deep to Kevontae Turpin. That's a 34-yard touchdown. 38-10 Cowboys at that point. Next Commanders possession, Sam Howell, who had a long day. He's intercepted by Deron Bland. He takes it the distance, 63 yards for the score, and Deron Bland, in doing so, sets the NFL single-season record with 5 pick sixes. Cowboys win 45-10. College basketball also continues into the holiday with Oklahoma and Arkansas, each playing some Turkey Day hoops this evening. Starting with Arkansas, the Razorbacks fall to Memphis 84-79 this evening in the semifinal, the battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas. Hogs just couldn't stop David Jones from Memphis. The 6'6 senior scores a career-high 36 points in a winning effort. Meanwhile, Oklahoma gets a win, 79-67 over Iowa in the Rady Children's Invitational in San Diego. Jalen Moore leads the way for the Sooners. He scores 18, only missed one of his shot attempts. They play USC tomorrow in the tournament championship game. Back locally, though, we're very excited as Pitt State football goes on the road up to Michigan to play Grand Valley State. I'll be there covering them all weekend. Our coverage on that starts tomorrow.
And that means you need to get on the road here pretty soon.
Yeah, I will be on the road soon.
All right, we're excited for that coverage.
Yeah, so am I.
All right, thanks. We'll be back with more news after this. As millions of Americans prepare to gobble down on turkey this Thanksgiving, millions more are going with a turkeyless alternative. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has the latest on the growing trend to skip the turkey over the holidays.
Gobbling up turkey is becoming less and less of a Thanksgiving tradition.
It's gotten so expensive out here, forget it. You gotta save where you can.
For Allison Rodriguez, skipping the turkey is about switching to more affordable holiday meal alternatives, as this year shoppers can expect to pay 60% more for canned cranberries, 30% more for canned pumpkin, and 9% more for canned green beans.
We're just changing the meat. We're doing the same sides, the stuffing, the rice, the potato salad. We just decided to switch the protein this year.
Turkeyless Thanksgivings are increasingly becoming a holiday trend, according to a 2023 survey that looked at turkey purchasing decisions. As much as 33% of Americans said they did not eat turkey last Thanksgiving.
And that tracks with a growing number of people who are choosing, for a variety of reasons, to reduce how much meat they eat. Might be for the animal's sake or for their own health or for the environment. And, especially if people are not finding turkeys raised to standards that they can support.
The same survey found that even a majority of those eating turkey said it is important to them that they select a bird protected from suffering. And over half said they wanted their turkey to be pasture raised. The ASPCA encourages shoppers to read their turkey's label before buying or consider swapping to a birdless alternative.
There are a lot of really wonderful centerpiece recipes that don't include a turkey, a lot of plant-based turkey alternatives.
And for those sticking with the traditional turkey, prices are actually down this year. The Farm Bureau says that's simply due to supply and demand and more birds on grocery shelves. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Not me, I had my turkey. Coming up, while some humans may long to have a drink or two over the holidays, we'll learn about a dog who ended up tipsy. The holidays are a time when people like to celebrate with a drink or two, but sometimes some of us have a few too many. Now, this is the story of a dog who overindulged. As Jeannie Moose shows us, the pup's owner came home to find the pooch drunk.
When Fido wants a drink, it's usually water.
So this is what I just came home to.
But Mary from South Jersey walked in on the aftermath of doggy cocktail hour.
This is empty. This was probably more than halfway full.
A bottle of Bailey's on the floor and a bottle of vodka knocked over on the counter with the cap half off. Mary didn't have to smell his breath.
Jack, try to walk. Come on, let's go.
Jack was busted.
It's not funny, but my dog is drunk and I don't know what to do about it.
Wrote one commenter, your dog just failed a field sobriety test. Even when sober, Jack can be a handful. He's a 5-year-old former shelter dog, possibly a Husky Shepherd mix. Mary immediately called poison control, then took Jack to the vet where he got IV fluids and was kept overnight. The vet called in the morning saying,
You know, he's fine. He's prancing around like he's not even hungover.
No hangover, his appetite.
There you go.
Was fine. Jack used a window seat to jump up on the counter to get at the booze. You can see bite marks where he chewed off the cap.
This dog is my world. Jack is my child.
While Jack hit the bottle, nature documentaries have featured other animals.
It can be a little too lush.
Getting drunk on overripe fermented fruit.
Hey, Jack.
Now everybody's joking.
Jack.
That Jack's new name should be Jack Daniels.
That's too funny. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of elephants, sober ones at that, at the Milwaukee County Zoo enjoying some Thanksgiving treats. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving.